Sup, you chuckle fucks? It's your boy Dark Arco here with What If Issei became a, well, I would say a Rancor or a Hollow, but it's not that. Actually, I have a better idea. What if Issei died? Which, entirely, I don't think I ever made a What If Issei died. Did I fucking make one? Oh no, I definitely made a fucking What If Issei died and went to the Soul Society and had the system. That What If was made 4 months ago and I didn't even touch upon it. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, there's only one part of that one, but yeah. But this one's different. This one came up to my fucking brain, for fuck's sakes, when I was just desperate for kind of like getting work. Which I should mention that I am trying to get a job. So yeah. When I get a job, I hope I still have enough time to make these videos. If I don't, then well, I don't know how to tell you this, but I need those hours. Not hours. Yeah, hours. I need the hours, the money, and yeah, you get the point. Pretty much, my real life job. Well, yeah, my real life job of whatever I'm gonna be working in. Just know this: videos might be cutting short, and so yeah, pretty much. Other than that, let me begin to what if. Let me shut the fuck up. It's pretty much what if Issei died, but went to Hueco Mundo. Okay. So, what if Issei went to Hueco Mundo? Wouldn't that be a better title than me saying, what if he died? Because there's already another title kind of name that, yeah, I should probably name it like that. So, yeah. So, in this one, Issei is going to literally fucking plop and go to Hueco Mundo. Instead of like the other what if that I made about what if Issei was on the wrong card and when he died, he managed to break the hollow mask before he got sent to Hueco Mundo. No, in this one, he's literally being sent to Hueco Mundo. So yeah, and yes, I have finally got to the arc of mostly the Arrancers, and yes, I kind of see how mostly Hueco Mundo kind of looks like fully. So with that in mind, I'm gonna make a what if like that. Should I be making one for like the Ichigo one? Oh yes, I have like literally 3 Ichigo what ifs that I have an idea for. Problem is, how should I say this? I haven't got to that arc. Literally, I know what arc I need to get to, and it's literally the Fullbringer one, and I'm still in the Arrancer one. It took me a while to get out of the balance arc, but yeah. Right now, I'm watching the hell out of it, so me and Dante can go into the goddamn Bleach what if, and not get distracted. Because that motherfucker last time literally took an entire fucking what if that never was uploaded, because that shit went random. I don't even know where he fucking went entirely with the story, because I was literally somewhere the fuck else. I was watching fucking Bleach in the bathroom, far away from my phone. Don't ask why. Other than that, let me begin to sweat. Let me shut the fuck up and let me begin. Also, I found out one thing about YouTube. YouTube Studios now allows me to fucking upload videos through there. I thought I had to always switch accounts multiple times. Which, yeah, switching accounts gets annoying as hell. Because if I have one video and one other channel, I could always just like plop it there and there. Yeah, I guess YouTube Studios realized that mostly people have literally 4, 3, 5, 6 channels. And the one I'm calling out for like 5 channels is none other than Anime King. Because that man literally has like 5 channels. He has Anime King 2, Anime King 3, Anime King 4, I think so, and Anime King Prince or whatever. But yeah, that man has 5 channels. And the reason why I know about this is because literally on mostly my main account, I did kind of subscribe to all 3 of his channels and probably even the 4th one. And I got like 3 videos on one day of the same video. Yeah, I'm probably just roasting the shit from him. Not the point. I mean, that guy, he's grinding. I don't really care too much, but yeah. He's making his bag, I guess. Other than that, I should shut the fuck up for fucking crying out loud. I am rambling on. Let me begin. Let me shut the fuck up. And yeah, let's begin. So we begin into mostly after the, what's it called, Rainer kind of like killing Issei being reincarnated into a devil. But of course, with all that happening, mostly we go into the kind of battle between, well, mostly Vali, who is actually in this one a girl who is known as Valerina, and mostly Issei, who is right now fighting in his like half stabilized form of mostly draconic armor. This is where, well, they are both fighting, and this is where, well, Issei is right now having a tough time to kind of fight her. well, yeah. No, wait, no. I actually want to. I have a better story outline, and I'm gonna kick that one out of the way. This is where. Well, let me reset. Blech. Yeah, I'm getting distracted because I see a fucking can of literally, mostly oranges, and I'm just really want to fucking eat them. But I should save it. Yeah, I don't have no clue why I'm kind of getting hungry. I ate a while ago. Don't know, don't care, and I should probably shut the fuck up. Sorry about rambling on. Okay, I am just rambling on like hell now that I think about it. Blech. But no, yeah, we go into mostly. Blech. After mostly the battle between what's it called, Rainer, and of course mostly Issei managed to defeat her, and then after mostly that, Issei was in the familiar forest. He did get his, well, he didn't really get a familiar at all. No, he did not get a familiar, but instead what he got is absolutely nothing. Yeah, Ozzy was the only one to get a familiar, and mostly not him. But other with that happening, we go into mostly Issei fighting against Riser. But during the whole battle with Riser, Riser was complaining, saying, "You will not be able to defeat me. I am a goddamn chicken." Blah 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 blah. You get the point. What Riser says most of the time. Issei still managed to defeat him. You know, in that second round. But of course, after that, this is where Issei kind of says, and he wants Ray to be free, and blah blah blah. Yeah, instead of Rias kind of going on the griffin with Issei, Rias instead kind of literally just kind of kisses someone else in the crowd. It wasn't Issei. No, it was just some random like devil, high-ranking devil. And this is where Rias kind of says to propose towards this like random devil. Even though he wasn't even the one to like save Rias. Which, it broke Issei's heart. Literally. He sacrificed an arm for Rias to go fucking date someone else. Which then again, it doesn't really break his heart because he was interested in Rias, but not to the point to date her. But it really didn't matter too much to the point because when Surzex notices, he noticed that Issei was considered to be a danger now. Well, he wasn't too dangerous, but he was still a danger. But didn't see him too much of a threat. But this is where Rias kind of did in the middle of, middle of kind of like asking this other high-ranking devil who had kind of like jet blue hair, kind of just said, the jet blue hair devil kind of says to get rid of Issei, and Rias does it by literally sending a ball of destruction into Issei. Which they tried to stop it, but of course the ball of destruction was too unstable and it hit Issei. Issei whined in his eyes. Akano, Kiba, and Konako were shocked because, well, they weren't expecting Rias to do something like that, and neither was Ozia. Ozia tried to go over to try to heal him fast enough, but Issei was too unstable. First, he just saw the person that he saved go to someone else, and now he's slowly dying. This is where, well, he slowly closes his eyes. This is where, well, he dies. But instead of like dying and going to mostly wherever world like Hades realm, he was too much enraged and hatred for the fact that Rias did something like that, that instead he decides to go into a different world entirely. He goes into the world of Hueco Mundo, but he goes into the lower levels where mostly the Gillions and other things would be there. Like, you know how the first thing the Hollows kind of be born as? Yeah, those kind of levels. This is where, well, while Issei was there, he was actually very enraged that no other Hollow decided to go pick a fight with him. But this is where, well, his hair went jet black after a while, after being there. Or, not really jet black, but he was basically looking like a dragon mixed with a Hollow. So basically kind of looking like, so mostly looking like this. This is how mostly his Hollow-fied draconic form looked like somewhat. But yeah. But entirely he was enraged, destroying all the, what's it called, low-level kind of Gillions that were in that forest. The Hollow Forest, if you know which arc I'm talking about. But yeah. And this is where, well, mostly Issei fully just destroys everything that's near him. Either eats it, destroys it, or yeah, you get the point. He died, not his mostly death aspect is literally rage, because that's what he died for. He literally, or not rage, is portraying in rage somewhat. So yeah. So of course, where well, Issei is right now in a very rage state. Well, as a hollow, but at the same time, it's kind of depressing because he also has despair as it. Because the person who he literally saved, betrayed him in an instant. But yeah, but we go into mostly a time skip of mostly Akano really kind of hating Rias for doing that, but entirely she can't really like become a stray. Now, Cersei did have to punish Rias to actually stripping her kind of like territory rank and giving it to Sona fully. When Sona heard about this, because she was also there and she was shocked to see Rias do something like that, which is crazy, she didn't know how to feel. Because in one kind of side, she didn't like the pervert too much, Issei, but entirely she wouldn't just straight up kill him. And then in the other side, there's mostly just this sadness without Issei. But yeah. But we go back into mostly a POV of Issei. Issei is slowly becoming an Arrancer through mostly eating and devouring other kind of mostly hollows. Now the hollows kind of has a very scared presence. There's like these 5 strong hollows and then the mostly menos grandes who will try to attack Issei, but in Issei's draconic form / hollowified draconic form, he breathes fire and it literally wipes them all out. He burns their soul to ash, which is crazy because mostly hollows usually eat souls to kind of survive. But in this one, Issei just doesn't care. This is where, well, throughout mostly doing this is where, well, the Espadas were actually alerted by this. And yes, and I mean, in this one, yes, Issei, well, not in this one, let me say that again. Aizen in this one actually is in Hueco Mundo. He is still planning, and of course, planning to take Orihime and other things, which, yeah, this is where, well, he's just planning to awaken the mostly Hogakyus to fight against the Soul Reapers to ascend and kill, well, the previous Soul King, but yeah. But this is where, well, mostly Aizen was quite interested in the fact that he's getting reports of mostly the Hollow Force kind of having a huge dent of mostly a bunch of hollows disappearing, like a huge amount. It looks like a Shinigami Kaijin just ran through there and just started destroying everything. It kind of looked like Kenpachi might have found a way into mostly the hollow dimension, straight up went berserk. That's what it's kind of looking, because he kind of noticed the numbers, which he was interested in how the numbers are going down. Like, instead of increasing thanks to the multitude of humans dying thanks to the supernatural, he sees a huge dent of how the hollow species is kind of dying out. Now, this is where, well, he is actually quite curious in what that is exactly. How are they dying? Is there some kind of virus? Which he thinks that that's impossible because hollows aren't really affected by any virus or any of that, because they're already dead. But this is where, well, he decides to go check it out with Gin and mostly blind dude. I forgot his name. I'm sorry, for fuck's sakes. I cannot remember his name. I see him most of the time in the freaking like the end of the video of what's it called, Bleach, like the mostly like not series but like the end, and where he's like fucking talking to Gin about mostly the hollow Wikipedia or whatever. And this is where, well, Ronker Wikipedia, whatever. This is where, well, mostly I forgot his name. Okay, fuck. I should probably remember it, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly, well, Aizen decides to go check it out. When he finds out what exactly it is, it's a huge, kind of looking like, well, not a huge, what's it called? A Roncar, any of that, or a hollow. But instead, it's a small boy with kind of like brownish hair. Yes, in this one, you know, I had my mind kind of just changed. Instead of having jet black hair, it's kind of a brownish, darkish brown hair color. This is where, well, he has his kind of a Roncar mask still on his face. Because, well, not Roncar mask, his hollow mask is kind of similar to that of, well, mostly Grimgel, but with just jagged and near his, like, face, like, mostly just the teeth very sharp. And this is where, well, he's right now kind of, like, crunching on something. This is where, well, mostly the brown-haired boy doesn't really have clothes because, well, yeah, And this is where, well, mostly the brown hair boy looks up. He does have a sword on him, like, yeah, like any normal Arrancer will. And he actually was born naturally, mostly, yes. Mostly when Aizen felt the energy, he for a second thought that he might have used the Hogakyu on this boy. But that is not the case. He has the Hogakyu with him, but he hasn't used the Hogakyu on Issei to turn him into an Arrancar. No, this was just born naturally, just out of devouring souls and destroying. This is where, well, he also found out the boy was literally in a huge crater. That's the only reason and why there's indicated that was a called, well, this brown haired boy was the reason to make so much destruction. And because there's also a huge ass hole in the roof. Which, that's kind of impossible because the sand can't really fall down, but it's really odd. That, and there was also an explosion before Aizen got over here. Like, yes, an explosion of an Arrancar waking up, or mostly being awakened through just natural causes. And since mostly Issei's Arrancar form, it's literally natural, but instead of being weaker than any of the Arrancars who were actually kind of used the Hogakyu to awaken, he's actually stronger, much more stronger than that of the, what's it called? Literally much more stronger than Stark. And the second, what's it called? What was he? Forgot. Barrow something. I forgot his fucking name. But this is where, well, mostly he is much more stronger than both of them. And they needed somewhat, well, not needed, really, an awakening naturally through Arrancar needs or any of that. But then again, mostly Stark was also, I think, a natural one. He was born naturally like that. But yeah. But this is where, well, mostly Issei kind of glances at what's it called, well, Aizen, and this is where, well, Issei growls at Aizen. This is where, well, he narrowed his eyes. This is where, well, Aizen kind of takes an interest to this boy. The boy's energy, mostly the, what's it called, Rialto around him, is literally dancing. Even though mostly in Hueco Mundo, Rialto itself is so unstable because of how the mostly hollows are, but in this case, mostly the freaking Rialto is literally dancing around Issei, like literally bowing down in front of him. And this is where, well, Issei is still in a semi kind of berserk enraged state, which he doesn't like anyone. But this is where, well, Aizen noticed how much potential Issei has. There's so much of it. There's literally so much, and he's wasting it throughout just destroying weaklings. This is where, well, he probably thinks that mostly Issei is actually somewhat like what's it called? Wonder, fuck, I forgot what his name. The blonde hair kid, mostly Wonder. Well, since Aizen hasn't, well, he has kind of awakened Wonder-wise, but this is where, well, mostly he thinks it's similar to that. But this is where, well, Issei is right now just glaring at Aizen, what's it called, Gin, and even the blind dude. The blind dude was about to unsheath his sword to finally take out Issei, thinking that he's a threat. But before anything could happen, this is where, well, Issei's mostly body, he just stands up. And this is where, well, he can narrow his eyes at mostly the guy trying to pull out his sword. Mostly the blind dude, which I should search it. This is where, well, Konami kind of just pulls out his sword. And this is where, well, before he can actually react, this is where Issei rushes at him with blinding speed, kicking him right in the stomach. This is where, well, Konami won his eyes. Luckily, he managed to block it with his sword, but he felt his sword almost shatter from just a brute strength alone. This is where, well, right now, Gin kind of looks at this and just smiles, grinning, like always. This is where Aizen was very impressed. This is where Konami, even though he's a captain, he used to be an ex-captain, he's still he is still quite powerful, but yet he was almost like hurt really bad by, well, mostly a naked Issei. Yes, and Issei's literally butt naked. This is where, well, mostly Issei is right now growling. This is where, well, it's like he's still in a feral state mode. Even though he's out of or managed to transform into a Arrancar and being humanoid, he looks like he's still in a feral state. This is where, well, mostly Gin says, oh my, this is so interesting. Don't you think, Aizen? This is where Aizen nodded, saying this is quite interesting. Wasn't expecting a natural born Arrancar to appear in this forest. This is where, well, mostly Issei growls. And this is where, well, he roars to the heavens. And this is where, well, mostly the Ryatsu around him starts kind of building up around him. This is where, well, he started kind of making a settle. But this time it's a grande settle. But instead of being a normal settle, it's actually being covered up by literally flames in his mouth. This is where he was launching it straight to Kami, you know what, fucking Kami. This is where, well, Kami whined in his eyes, and this is where, well, he says, shit. This is where, well, he was about to use his Bankai, but instead, mostly Aizen managed to cut down what's it called, Issei. But not killing him, mostly just cutting him down. This is where, well, Issei right now kind of tries to throw the mostly grande settle, which it was literally made with flames, to the ground to try to explode it, but this is where Aizen managed to stop it by even destroying it also. This is where, well, right now making Issei widen his eyes, which he was still in a feral state, but just entirely he widened his eyes. He wasn't expecting someone to be much more powerful than him and take him out. This is where, well, Issei falls down to the ground, and this is where, well, right now Gensei, aw, did you really have to kill the poor boy? This is where, well, mostly Aizen says he's not dead. No, he's not dead. But again, this is where, well, Gen says, what, do I really have to pick him up? That's where Aizen looks at him and says, no. But I am going to ask for you to call in an Arrancer, or just an Arrancer numero, just a random Arrancer, to pick up mostly this boy. Gen says, okay, I'll call them in. This is where, well, a low-ranking Arrancer to pick up Issei and decide to bring him straight to the kind of Espada's like castle to heal him or something. But this is where, well, mostly Issei right now tries to, what's it called? Mostly he gets up in an instant, right now breathing really hard. This is where he's confused. He's literally confused. This is where he doesn't know where he's at, and he's realized he's butt-ass naked. This is where he then covers himself in an instant, because first of all, what the fuck? All he remembers, the last thing that he remembers is his human kind of aspect life of getting betrayed, and a couple of other memories. But entirely all that other stuff is kind of blurred a bit. And yes, he is kind of a bit hazy on his memories. He might have forgot a couple things, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly Issei kind of just looks around and just thinks about what exactly is happening and where he's at. This is where, well, someone walks in, and it's none other than Aizen. Aizen says, oh my, well, it looks like you're awakened. This is where Issei says, who are you? This is where Aizen says, you can call me Sosuke Aizen. This is where Issei said, okay, what do you want from me? Oh. Tell me, do you know what number you are? This is where, well, he knows that Issei is quite one of the most rarest and powerful natural-born Arrancers. And this is where, well, mostly Issei says, what do you mean, what number? Oh, you don't know the numbers. Right, you were just recently born as an Arrancer. And then again, even though Hollows even still knows about the Arrancer numbers, you seem to be in a feral state most of the time. So, lift up your wherever it is. Issei said, where do you... This is where, well, mostly Issei looks at near his, well, he kind of, mostly just looks around. Mostly he gets like this kind of mirror that was right next to him and tries to look around him until he notices in the side of his neck. And the side of his neck is literally a number 1. Well, a negative number 1. This is where, well, it seems to be he's much more powerful than even Yami, because he has literally a negative number 1. The lower they are, the stronger they are. So entirely a negative number 1. But the 1 is like kind of made into being like a font of like a dragon at the kind of tip for the 1, and then at the bottom it's like dragon wings. But yeah, this is where Issei says, what is this? This is where, well, we'll see. Aizen says, that is quite interesting. I was never thinking that mostly Arrancers would be able to go to, well, or, yeah, Arrancers would never be able to go into a negative number. But yours is special. You're a negative number. You're one of a kind. You're literally much more powerful than Yami or any of the other Espadas. Tell me, would you like to join me? What do you mean, join you? Join me in... well, whatever you desire. You can desire this, that, whatever you want. And this is where, well, Issei thinks about it, and this is where he desires revenge. He desires to destroy that red hair, to destroy anyone that got in his way. And this is where, well, Issei says, I want revenge. I want nothing but just revenge, destruction in my path. This is where Aizen was quite impressed. All he noticed is this kid is just wanting revenge. Nothing but just straight up revenge. This is where, well, Issei growls at what's it called? Aizen. He wants nothing but just revenge. He growls like a feral animal, like a dragon. He's nothing but enraged and pissed the fuck off. This is where, well, Aizen kinda nodded, saying, huh, quite interesting. Sure, I will help you in revenge, but you must help me first with my plan. This is where, well, Aizen, well, mostly Issei said, I don't care what it is. I'll help. It doesn't matter. This is where, well, mostly Aizen seems to get in the full loyalty of Issei quite easily. Quite easily, but not the point. He wasn't thinking that to be so easy to kind of get the, well, mostly attention for Issei. This is where, well, Issei then points out, but I still don't trust you. I don't care if you help me with revenge or not. I still do not trust you. Sosuke Aizen. You will have to earn my respect if you think I will ever trust you. This is where, well, Aizen kind of grins. It's been the first person that he ever expected for someone not to trust him so willingly. This is where, well, we'll see Aizen grins and says, sure, kid. This is where, well, he kind of grins, while mostly Issei narrows his eyes. But this is where, well, we go into a time skip. Rias is actually okay relaxing with her kind of new husband somewhat, and yes, they got married quite fast. Now, this is where Riser was kind of shocked to hear that his somewhat ex-beloved literally got married to someone else quite fast. At the same time, the Red Dragon Emperor has literally became non to exist, because even though his body is still in good shape, his soul is no longer with him. And if his soul is no longer with him, his sacred gear is no longer with him neither. So body is okay, soul is gone. But yeah. But this is where, well, we go into mostly a time skip of, well, Issei kind of just mostly been with the Arrancers for a while. And of course, Issei is quite respectful. Even though he doesn't, well, mostly, he does respect Aizen's power, but he doesn't trust him. But yeah, which Aizen is quite interesting. The fact that Issei literally has no trust for no one. He's literally a loner. He's similar to that of Stark, in which Stark actually does respect Issei's power, because he's someone else who actually was born out of mostly just straight up power. But at the same time, mostly Issei doesn't respect anyone else. I mean, he does respect Stark also. They have that mutual respect. But other than that, Issei does not care about anyone else. There's Grimjaw. Some encounters where Grimjaw, when Grimjaw tries to pick a fight with Issei, literally ends up with mostly Grimjaw eating literally dirt or sand in some cases, or even the ground. Yeah, Issei is not the type of person to be pushed around. Issei's personality has changed a lot into that more suitable of an Arrancer, but yeah. But he is quite emotionless, similar to that of Ukiriya. Well, yeah, Ukiyera. This is where, well, Yami has also tried to pick a fight with mostly Issei, but then again, he's similar like Grimjaw, and he eats dirt, sand, or literally fucking, well, stone. But yeah. Now, of course, where, well, Issei's not the type of person to back down to anyone, and he does not care. And he's actually always right next to either Aizen or Gin. Mostly, instead of Issei doing whatever he does in Hueco Mundo or whatever the other espadas does, Issei usually is always next to either Gin, Kamatoi, or yeah, Kamatoi, Kamamoy, oh yeah, Kamamoy, I'm gonna call him Kamamoy for now, or mostly Aizen, in which Aizen does have a daughter, and her name is Kyoka. Kyoka has actually seen Issei a couple times, and they kind of started spending a lot of time together, which is surprising. which Aizen notices quite quick. He just doesn't get involved into the relationship of, well, his daughter and the Arrancer boy known as mostly Issei. And the age that Issei died, he died as a 17-year-old. He's actually mostly the youngest kind of Arrancer in, well, mostly the entire kind of Espadas and even Arrancers entirely. He's the youngest, strongest, and yet he's actually perfect match for mostly Kyoka. But yeah, but not the point. Because Kyoka is also 17. Well, in human years, they'll be 17. But entirely, since Kyoka is a Shinigami and Issei is a Arrancer, they can literally live for such long years. This is where, well, Issei kind of just mostly usually tries to stick to himself, but Kyoka will usually tag along and it won't really work that much. But this is where, well, we go into mostly a time skip of mostly the day where, well, Kokobo decides to want to start a war. Now, Kokobo wanted to start a war with a lot of things. First, the 3 factions, probably some other pantheons, and then he tries to involve the Hollows because he heard about mostly species that usually would go rampage half the time. But the way he went to do it, the way to actually piss off the Hollows was to try to attack the leader, and that didn't really work. Instead, he has a huge ass wound on his chest. Yes, it was from Aizen, and Aizen literally just flicked his hand once, and fucking Kokobo was almost dead. The only reason why Aizen let him live was because he wanted to see how this little flying crow was going to deal with Issei. Yes, he's sending Issei to the human world, but not alone. He's sending what's it called, Ukiera, to actually follow mostly Issei, or to come along with Issei. He's actually wanting to see in how strong the Arrancer, well, the Arrancers are from normal supernatural beings, especially Issei, who is actually -1. But yeah, this is where, well, mostly Issei is kind of like going straight to the human world by opening a, what's it called, gargancha. Yeah, he opens up a gargancha to actually get to the human world. This is where, well, when he gets to the human world, he absorbs multiple human souls and doesn't feel bad for it. He doesn't care. He's like Yami, and Yami does also absorb the souls. He also came along. This is where, well, Yami says, can't wait to fight that fallen angel or some other strong beings. I wonder what kind of other strong beings are we going to encounter. He tries to talk to Issei, which mostly tries to excite him for battle, in which Issei says, I do not care in what exactly I have to fight. What Aizen commanded me to do was to only kill a certain fallen angel known as Kokobo. Other than that, I do not care about any other weaklings. Ukiera can actually respect somewhat mostly Issei's decision, because Ukiera does also follow Aizen, is quite respectful, but mostly, yeah, you get the point. In which Issei doesn't literally pick a fight with anyone. And when it seems pointless for Issei to pick a fight with anyone, he still does, but not too brashly. But yeah, this is where, well, mostly Ukiera just nodded, and this is where, well, they all kind of use mostly Sunito to right now just disappear from the place that we're at. But we go into the battle between mostly Kokobo and the Grimmer Parage with Sonus Parage and some other people, and also the church and some other fallen angels. But before mostly Kokobo can say, it's time for me. What is not time? Let me say that again. He laughs, saying, well, it's time, Vlad or Valen or whatever the fuck that guy's name is, to start the explosion. Start it now so we can explode Kuo into millions of pieces. And so the Great War will start. This is where, well, Fried was grinning and saying, yeah, let's start it. This is where, well, right now Fried was laughing at mostly, what's it called? Siegfried, not Siegfried. Mostly, yeah. Siegfried, is this Siegfried? No, it's not Siegfried. So, mostly Fried, who is right now laughing at what's it called, Kiba and Zenobia and like other swordsmen using, saying, you guys can't do anything to me. It's funny, it's hilarious. This is where, well, mostly someone actually appeared right in front of Kiba. It's none other than mostly Issei in his Arrancer mask, and this is where, well, Issei was looking around till he noticed Cookbill. This is where Freed says, huh? Who are you? Wait a minute, you look familiar. Tell me, are you the Red Dragon Emperor? This is where he grins with the psychotic kind of grin. This is where, well, everyone widened their eyes, like everyone, even what's it called, Rias, and what's it called, the blue hair dude, because he did kind of ask Rias to kill mostly the Red Dragon Emperor, but the Red Dragon Emperor is right in front of him. This is where, well, right now Cookbill says, huh? The Red Dragon Emperor? Did I not hear something about you being already dead? This is where Free says, I don't care and what exactly you're alive for, but die! He tries to swing the Excalibur strike to mostly Issei until Yami blocks it, literally just grabbing it with his hand. What the hell is this? Is this some kind of... What is this exactly? He questions Issei, because he's recently from the human world. This is where, well, Issei says, I don't care and I shouldn't give a damn. All I'm here for is for that guy's head. This is where, well, Issei said with such an emotionless, uncaring tone. This is where Yami says, I see. So I guess I'll be the one fighting you, pathetic human. This is where, well, mostly Yami pushes with a car, well, Freed away, and Freed was like, huh? How did you survive that? That can't be possible. This is the Excalibur fragment. No one can die, well, manage to dodge it or block it or even grab it. This is where Yami says, God, you are loud. You are really loud. Bada! This is where he throws a Bada straight to Freed, and Freed could not dodge it. He gets hit in the stomach. This is where he's launched into a tree in an instant. This is where Yami says, oh, come on. Don't tell me this is literally all the power of a human can do. God, I think I faced stronger humans than this. Who was that one person? What was his name? There was a blonde-haired guy with the bucket. What was his name? Hey, Issei, do you remember? Because Issei was there kind of seeing mostly Ukiera and Yami fight against mostly Yoriichi and even with the Ka Urahara. This is where, well, mostly Issei says, I do not care too much about this Yami. Ask Ukiera for this information. This is where Yami says, oh yeah, Ukiera. Do you remember what his name was? Ukiera says his name was Urahara. So why aren't we there to fight those? Why are we here to kind of bring that thing up there? This is where he points at mostly Kokubi and call him a thing. Kokubi almost gets a tick mark, like, what? What the hell is this shit? Who are these people? This is where, well, he tries to look at all of them and think they're all weak. Except for Yami, he might be a problem. And this is where, well, he noticed a guy who's supposedly the Red Dragon Emperor. He does look like the Red Dragon Emperor, it's just one problem. He has a fucking mask near his face. At the same time, this is where Issei's hair has become a darker brown. His eyes also became a darker brown. It's no longer a honey brown color. And this is where, well, Issei doesn't seem to be wearing a standard kind of like uniform. He instead is rocking mostly a uniform from the Espadas. But instead of being all white, which is kind of annoying for him, to rock most of the time, he kind of wears a bit of black in it. This is where, well, it kind of makes him look like a captain. Which mostly the Arrancers are confused half the time, but Issei does not care. He rather kind of piss off the goddamn Espadas to actually care about wearing the standard uniform. This is where, well, mostly Issei said, so, this is where he decides to talk to mostly, what's it called, Cookbill. So, you're Cookbill, the one that mostly Lord Aizen has commanded me to kill. Tell me, why did you dare to even attack our, well, mostly my lord? Well, Lord Aizen. This is where, well, Cookbill widened his eyes and realized that, yes, the person that he attacked a while ago was Aizen, and he wasn't expecting Aizen to just send some Arrancers. He was thinking to send more, because he just attacked the leader. He sent literally 3 people. And he was thinking of like hollows, like big-ass hollows to appear. Not these like small kind of humanoid looking kind of hollows. Which he thinks they're not that strong. And I should mention one thing, Issei's always wearing a scarf to kind of cover up his number. But whatever. This is where, well, mostly Issei kind of looks at mostly, well, Cookbill, and Cookbill says, And how are you going to be able to do that? I refuse to believe that the Red Dragon Emperor has become any stronger. The last time I heard about this with the Red Dragon Emperor was pathetic and couldn't even use his boosted gear that much before dying against the Grimoire. This is where, well, mostly Issei turns around to see Rias. And this is where, well, Rias was shocked. She kind of noticed the mostly resemblance of mostly Issei at the same time, even though Issei's body is being preserved. This is where the blue-haired dude actually even noticed this. This is where Issei right now points his finger straight towards him, and this is where he literally sends out a settle. A small beam settle, but it was still powerful enough to almost blow them to straight to hell. This is where, well, mostly Reyes did try to use her destruction magic to try to block it, but the settle just pierced through her, well, pierces through the destruction magic and pierces her right in the, mostly near her heart. Which, it was kind of like a beam from Frieza, think about it like that, but it wasn't fully. Now, the blue-haired dude tries to use his, like, very powerful water magic, because this guy is actually similar, well, he is kind of a descendant from the Leviathan, like the actual True Clan, but he's also a half, well, he's not half human, but he is like a half, well, not, yeah, well, he is not half human, but he is a half, what's it called, half devil. So he is from the Arrancer clan, but at the same time, he's also, well, somewhat a, not yokai, but a, what's it called, Nekomaru. But yeah. This is where, well, he tries to use the Senju energy powers to try to block the settle, which is still pierced through him, and this is where, well, he landed on the ground next to Reyes. They are both bleeding a lot. Ozzy would have tried to heal them, but this is where, well, mostly Issei said, Ukiera, do you see the girl with the healing abilities? We're about to use them? Ukiera nodded. Don't we need other healers for, mostly, Hueco Mundo, just in case we have to deal with the, what's it called? Shinigami's? Ukiera nodded and says, what are you suggesting there? Issei. Well, we should take her. This is where, well, Ukiera nodded. He already did kind of tell what's called Orihime, who mostly they're going to pick up anyway today, to kind of bring to Hueco Mundo because she has a very interesting power to reject the phenomenon or something like that. This is where, well, Ukiera says, if you say that she's useful, then I guess I should take her. Before mostly Ozzy can actually get towards what's called Reyes, or even what's called the blue-haired dude, who is known as Shin, or you want to call him Shin for now. This is where, well, Shin was about to try to get up and see Ozzy about to heal them. This is where, well, before anything happens, this is where Ozzy's neck got grabbed by Ukiera. Ukiera says, sorry there, but you are not doing anything like that. This is where Ozzy says, like, go with me. Who are you people? Ukiera says, it doesn't really matter who I am. You are coming with me. This is where, well, Ozzy gets mostly what's it called? Not settle, mostly, what is that fucking, flashing technique? It's not flash step, it's, Sonido. He basically just Sonido right next to what's it called? Issei. In which Issei kinda just says, not just use a gargantua or something. This is where Issei kind of opens it and just throws it in front of Aizen. And this is where Aizen says, so tell me, who are you? This is where, well, Ozzy was just scared. She wasn't expecting this. She was expecting to actually kind of heal what's it called Reyes and right now Shin, but instead she got teleported. This is where, well, mostly we go into Issei. Issei looks at what's it called, well, mostly Kokubel and just sighs. This is where, well, mostly Kokubel says, huh? This is interesting. That's powerful. What is that? If I can understand, that is a settle. So tell me there, mostly Hollow. I'm guessing you're a very powerful Arrancer, whatever they call yourself, from the Espadas. I feel like all three of you are Arrancers. Tell me, do you think you can give me a good challenge, huh? This is where, well, mostly Kokubel was laughing until mostly Issei looks at Kokubel. Doesn't unsheath his sword, but this is where he swings his hand fast enough, and this is where, well, mostly he disappears using Sonido, and this is where he appears right in front of mostly Kokubel, cutting his head off in an instant. That man's head was cut off in an instant, his whole body exploding to feathers. Before Issei right now uses a bit of mostly Real to keep the head in place so it doesn't explode, similar to feathers, just like what's it called, his original body. Making everyone shocked and horrified. Just seeing this supposedly Issei hero appear back again and he just one-shots Kokubel. This is where, well, mostly Issei says pathetic. This is where, well, mostly Issei kind of like gets out of the way now by just like landing on the ground, and this is where he has the Kokubel head now. This is where, well, Ukiera says it seems our mission is over now. This is where, well, right now Freed rushes out of the, what's it called, mostly tree line and says, die! This is where, well, mostly Issei grabs the Excalibur. This is where, well, making Uki right now freed, right wide in his eyes. Is it? How is this possible? You're supposed to be a damn devil. You can't just grab the sword of mostly Excalibur. This is where Issei shatters the sword into millions of pieces. Just fragments falling down to the ground. This is where freed wide in his eyes until he gets his neck grabbed by Issei. Issei says, "You're starting to annoy me. Be gone from my sight." Issei makes a settle right now in his hand and blows Freed's head off. This is where, well, making Valen be, well, mostly that fat dude, priest right now wide in his eyes, seeing Kokobel and Freed just get absolute whoop. While mostly Yami is walking towards the priest, and the priest says, "No, just stay away from me. No, this can't be it." Now, of course, I should mention Kokobel already did mention about God's secret, which Issei did not give a damn. He literally saw this and just didn't give a fuck. Like, why should he care? Like, God was not even a powerful being in the beginning. He knows that Soul-King is the original person who's quite powerful and was the one to create the 3 realms. But yeah, other than that, this is where Issei completely walks towards the car. Well, he doesn't walk towards the car. The old priest, but this is where, well, the fat priest is where, well, mostly Yami does, and this is where Yami just punches him once in the face, crushing it. This is where Yami says, "Squirm like a bug, all you want to, but yet you will still die." He is laughing. This is where, well, mostly Ukieta says, "We should probably be going now." Issei says, "Exactly." This is where, well, before Issei gets to leave, this is where a sword actually pointed at his neck, and it was none other by Kiba. This is where, well, Issei grabs the sword with his just teeth and just shatters it. Similar to that of mostly Saitama just biting onto mostly Sonic's blade. Which is crazy, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei says, "So annoying. So annoying." This is where, well, we'll see, just freaking, what's it called? Shit, I'm kind of losing my thought. But this is where, well, we'll see Issei kind of was like completely walking towards Ukieta. This is where, well, Akano and even what's it called, well, Sona Tsubaki, they did try to use mostly their magic to stop Issei, and even what's it called, Sona. But this is where, well, Issei was getting annoyed with all this. But then again, they aren't the target, so of course, he will let them live. Because, well, entirely, they can't barely hurt him. His skin is tougher than steel. Literally, it's literally tougher than diamond entirely. Just because, well, he's in the wrong card. He's not a dragon, so of course, draconic weapons won't actually hurt him. He's a hollow again. So yeah, unless it's a Shinigami with a sword like a mostly Sanpakuto, no other weapon will be able to hurt him. By mostly letting Tsunoba even hit him with the sword of the round top, it didn't even hurt him even once. That's where Issei just looks at her like she's an annoying pest, which she was. And this is where, well, Issei says, "Piss off, you annoying pest." This is where, well, Issei punches her in the stomach so hard, pushing her away. This is where, well, mostly Issei says, let us go already. I am already bothered enough to be seeing these pathetic bugs in front of me. This is where, well, Urahara nodded and leaves, with mostly Yami. Yami then sends a bottle straight to all of them, and this is where they almost crash into them. This is where, well, they all wind their eyes. Issei is back, but Issei is now different. He called someone Lord. It's someone named Lord Aizen, because they kind of know about him a bit in the supernatural. He is quite dangerous and elusive and quite a manipulator. But they can not get involved with him because he entirely is a different aspect of like Hades realm, entirely of like death realm, and they are not trying to bother with him. Now entirely Aizen can literally bother with the supernatural, but he doesn't do that most often because it's not really a part of his plan. And if Issei is now a part of that plan, they can't really get Issei back because Issei seems to care less about anyone. Especially the fact that he just killed, what's it called, Shin. Yeah, Issei did not let that man slide. He was like, "What's good, motherfucker?" Shot him once in the fucking heart. Yeah, he truly fucked him up. Rias, on the other hand, she was slowly dying, but of course, luckily, Sona had a, what's it called, vial of, what's it called, Phoenix Blood, not Phoenix Blood, we'll see Phoenix Tears to actually heal Rias. She also tried to do it for Shin, but Shin died. Even if he could get reincarnated into the pieces, that was impossible because that settle hit him in the heart, but also another invisible settle smashed into his, what's it called, soul chain. So, to actually turn him into a hollow real fast. And yes, Issei knew where exactly Shin appeared in the, what's it called, Hueco Mundo. Because when he appeared, his reality was quite powerful. And Issei appears right in front of him just to completely wipe him out from existence. Literally blowing out flames from his mouth, destroying him in an instant. Other than that, we go into mostly Issei disappearing. From mostly a pile of ashes and a bunch of a bunch of hollows right now being fearing from a powerful Arrancer card just to appear right in front of them. Other than that, I'm gonna leave it off here for part 1 of this what if. Good night, bye, and yeah. Also, my throat is hurting like hell, but yeah, bye.